Right now we're getting those shoulder circles. We're going big, then we're coming back down to small. Once we get down there, guys, we're starting to go backwards. We're doing the same thing, starting small, becoming larger. As you guys find yourselves coming back down, we're going to start picking up those feet a little bit, giving me those butt kicks as well as that chest opener. Pretty much focusing on working those hamstrings while still stretching the front of that leg. And of course, opening up that chest, squeezing those shoulder blades together to get that upper body activated as well. From there, guys, we're going to take it straight into normal butt kicks, getting those arms involved, keeping that nice 90-degree bend at the elbow, just to work on some running form right there, getting those butt kicks in. And transition that over to a march or a high knee for us right there. Jessica, glad to see you in as well. Total body strength, we have mainly heavy weights going today, as well as some light weights for one of those shoulder circuits we'll be focusing on today. Right there, guys, go ahead and spread those legs apart just a little bit. Start giving me some squats. As always, if you're starting to feel a little bit sore in those legs, taking those reps a little bit slower will get us that stretch sooner, but it's also going to maximize that tension. So we're warming up the muscle, but it might feel a little sore initially, but it'll get us more relaxed for the rest of the class. Or going a little bit faster will also get us that blood pumping as well. So feel free to mix around with those as we're taking on these squats right now. But from there, I'm going to have you guys add a calf raise for me at the top. Squat up into a calf raise. Right there, guys, go ahead. Spread our legs apart. Side shifts. Again, still trying to activate those glutes. That's why we're staying low. Activating those hamstrings, those thighs, as well as trying to get that stretch in the interior of our legs. But if we need to come on up at the top, more than welcome to do that as well if it's a little bit too much activation to stay nice and low. Feel free to stay over on one side a little bit more. If you feel a nice little tightness, feel free to get in there as we're shifting. Or if we don't feel that so much, feel free to continuously shift on back and forth. Come on up, guys. You're going to start giving me some lunges. You can start, again, similar to those squats, nice and slow, or you can speed it up. Slow is going to allow us to focus more on any stretches if we find ourselves tight. And if we're really just trying to get that blood flow going, feel free to be a little bit quicker about it. And if we don't want to do lunges, some Spider-Man stretches just to focus on the hip flexor is a good alternative for right now. Again, just holding those Spider-Man stretches, maybe 5 to 6 seconds per side. And right there, guys, you can come on up, start giving me those hip openers, really focusing on opening up those hips, squeezing the glutes to get them activated, opening up those adductors a little bit more. And from there, switching, going outside to in, now focusing on stretching out that glute, activating those adductors to bring those legs in back towards the midline. And right there, guys, go ahead and grab a quick drink for me. We'll be back here in just a second. First activity for us, starting off nice and slow. Squats. I want us to grab those heavy weights for us if we're able. We're just going to have some normal squats to kick it off for us. We'll be starting here in 6, 5, 4, absolutely, 3, 2, and 1. Those weights can be on our shoulders, down by our sides, down in front, or held up here is more of a goblet squat. Really giving you guys however that feels most comfortable. What I want you guys to always focus on is pushing through those heels, then not letting that torso come forward too much while we're squatting, trying to keep it nice and vertical. That's going to keep our force, our weight back on our heels so we can get more glute activation to our thighs, the anterior thighs, and taking too much of the load. You guys are giving me just under 10 seconds, and then we're going into a single slide split squat. 2 and 1, having our feet staggered. We're going down just like this. If we try that at any point, we find maybe our hips or our knees are a little too tight. What I want us to substitute that with is a nice hip extension, RDL single leg. But we're starting that in 3, 2, and begin. Again, if we're on that lunge, split squat, it's one leg working the whole time. Right now I have my left leg out in front. It will switch. We have our designated time to switch there. And the same thing with that RDL, single leg. You have that one working leg going the whole time if that's our choice of an alternative. Two and one, go ahead, rotating on over, quick transition, and begin that opposite leg. So again, I'm switching over to that right side as I had my left leg working first. Pressing, of course, through that heel, trying to keep that torso up while we're doing this. It's okay to go to full extension. Let's try not to rest there, especially as we begin to feel fatigued. And if we're starting to do these RDLs, we're trying to make sure that our hips aren't rotating out too much, trying to keep everything pointed down towards the ground. Four, 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead, picking up those heavy weights again. We're going right back in to those squats. 3, 2, and begin. We're going to get used to this movement pattern for a second, guys, really focusing on pressing through the heels. And then we're going to add in a little bit of a slow counts as we've done before. If during those slow counts we ever feel the need to drop the weights, that's okay. But in a second, I'm going to take the count. It's 5 seconds down, 2 second hold, 5 second back up. I'm sorry, 5 second down, 5 second hold, 2 second back up. Everybody up at the top, down with me. 5, 4, 3, 2, hold through. 5, 4, 3, 2, and up. 1, 2. Same thing, down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Up. 1, 2. Down. 5, 4, 3, 2. Hold. 5, 4. Making sure those knees aren't coming in. Back up. 1, 2. Down. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Up. 1, 2. One more time for me, guys. Down. 5, 4, 3, 2. Hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, and up. 1, 2. I'm going to go back into those lunges, guys. I'm going to give you a sec to shake it out. If we're doing those split squats, we're doing normal split squats. If we're doing that RDL, what I want us to focus on is I want us to hold or come down, try to count for 8 seconds on our way down, normal speed on the way up. One leg working at the same time, or as the same as last time, I have my left leg on front, starting in 3, 2, and go ahead. So these lunges are normal for now. If we're doing that RDL single leg, it's down 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, up normal on your guys' own count there. If that 8 seconds at any time gets a little too difficult, feel free to drop it down to 6 or even 4 seconds. I just want you guys to focus on that eccentric component. For those of us doing that split squat, we're holding at the bottom in 2, 1. You're holding right here. While we're here, guys, make sure we're pressing through that heel, keeping that torso upright. Everyone else who's doing those RDOs, you're staying in that position, or you're continuing that for another 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Everybody's up right now. We're switching over, doing the same thing. 3, 2, and 1. Again, if we're doing these split squats, normal to start us off here. Normal to start us off. Hold this towards the end. Same thing with these RDOs. You guys are always doing about an 8-second down count. Coming up normal. If that ever becomes too much throughout the set, let's try dropping it down to 6. And for those of us in that lunge, we're down here holding right here, guys. Again, press through that heel. That's our focus. Neutral pelvis, upright torso. Five, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Everyone's coming down to the ground here. We have 2 activities. We're finishing off with the glute bridge, really to focus on those. And we're going to start off with our external rotation on the ground before our water break. We can utilize a weight if we want to, but what we're doing today is we're coming up, glute bridge, give me a kick out and a kick out so that we can work on some stability components. And that's all we're going to be doing, starting in 3, 2, and 1. Normal glute bridge up, one leg out, replace, other leg out, replace, back down, re-engage. Continuing that movement right there. While we're doing these kicks, guys, if I have this right leg up, let's make sure we're not dipping down to the right side, trying to keep ourselves perfectly level. If we have to drop the weight in order to do that, that is okay. Right there, I want everybody holding that glute bridge at the top, both legs down, holding that glute bridge at the top. Now that we're in this position, let's focus on pressing through those heels and trying to get those hips just 1 inch higher for me, guys. See if you can't push forward just 1 inch. 5, 4, 3, 2, and break there, guys. One activity before, again, that water break. We have both sides here. This is that time for that first light weight. Elbow is going to be nice deep into the side. Weight is in this hand down in front, and you're just rotating out for me like this, guys. Pinching the back of that shoulder blade to get that rotation started. Go ahead and join me right there. You'll probably feel this mainly in the back of your shoulder directly, as well as we're trying to activate a muscle specifically on the back of your shoulder blade. So thinking about that part of your anatomy helps you to get that concentration going. That's awesome. Three, 2, 1, switch there for me, guys. Going again in 3, 2, and begin. 10 seconds for me, guys. Really trying to squeeze the back of that shoulder blade, activating those external rotators. That's what we're doing with our arm right now. We're externally rotating it out. Great for posture. And break right there, you guys. Right here, feel free to get water. We'll be back with those little weights to get into our shoulder circuit next up. While you guys are finishing up there, I'm just going to show you what that shoulder circuit's going to look like. It's going to be, I think we've done this specific one before, a lateral raise, both arms into a front raise. That's our first activity. We're going to take that into that rear delt, almost like we're in that row position, but arms are going straight out into that Y raise, again, to focus on some of those smaller muscles in the upper back, great for posture. But we're going to start with those lateral raises, front raises in 3, 2, and begin. Right out in front or right out to the side, then out in front. Trying to minimize any potential swing back. In order to get leverage, we want to keep ourselves nice and upright. If it does help you to get into that staggered stance, I know we talk about that a lot, but it just gives us an extra step of stability so that our spine's not taking too much of the load. We don't have to worry too much about swing, and we can really focus on those muscles we're trying to activate. You guys are giving me less than 10 seconds. We're rotating down into that second set. 2 and 1. Guys, we're in this position right here. Lateral or rear delt into Y, going right here. Rear delt into Y, almost feeling like with that Y, we're trying to pull the shoulder blade down into the spine while we're lifting that up as well. That rear delt might start to feel a little tired. That's because it was also slightly working during those external extensions. Important to note, both of these muscles are also smaller than the previous two. We were working with those laterals and those front raises. So if they get fatigued a little bit sooner, guys, feel free to just take a few reps off. We'd rather see that than seeing explosive fly movements going there. But you're breaking in 2 and 1 right there, guys. Go ahead, set those ones down. We're going to capitalize on that momentum there. This is probably going to target that rear delt a little bit more. But we're going right into rows. I'm sorry, alternating rows. Alternating rows to start us off. In 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Alternating rows. One hand goes up, the other goes down. We're holding that position up top rather than having those hands resting at the bottom, holding them up here. Focusing on pinching that shoulder blade at the same time as activating that large upper back muscle right about there, guys. And I want everybody holding up at the top, holding up at the top. Once you find yourself in this locked position up here at top, try to squeeze those shoulder blades together just a little bit more and drive those elbows to the sky just 1 inch higher. That's going to make sure we're maximizing those contractions through that muscles we're trying to focus on. Two and break right there, you guys. We're coming down to the mat next. Feel free to bring that water bottle closer to us so you guys can take a sip while we're down here as well. Next activity is just going to be alternating chest press. Trying to stop that torso from rotating while we're going. We're alternating that chest press in 3, 2, and begin. Again, trying to keep that torso parallel to the ceiling, parallel to the floor at all times, not reaching up in order to do this. Trying to keep both shoulders in contact with the ground, making sure that that off hand that's down here, that elbow is not touching the ground. We should still see engagement in that chest, in those arms, in order to keep it above the ground. Five, 4, 3, 2, and break right there, guys. Feel free to put those weights off to the sides. Next activity we're doing here, just some crunches. Those feet can either be planted down or up here, but what we're doing is just that small little bit of movement at the front or at the upper portion of those abdominals. In 3, 2, and begin. Let's have those arms crossed out in front rather than behind the head, so that way we're just not pulling on those neck muscles too much, putting our spine a little bit out of whack. Two and one. I want us to do a quick transition, hands underneath our low back, and give me some leg ups. If these are a little too difficult, we can stick down here and just do flutter kicks, or we can try to just raise right here as well as a little bit. I find that one a little bit easier. Three, 2, and right here, guys, I want everybody in a nice boat position. Legs up, torso up, almost like we're combining those two movements, and we're just holding right here. You guys are giving me 15 seconds on this hold, 15 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, and break. I'm gonna have you guys turn over right here, face down into the mat. We're gonna have that Superman, Superwoman hold here. Everybody's down on their stomachs, arms come up. They can either be down here, that's a little easier, or out in front, but that might that's gonna activate that Y muscle we were doing earlier. Legs up in 3, 2, and 1 right here. Again, if we find ourselves with those arms extended out, those are going to activate the same muscles we were doing with that Y, which might be a little too much for us. Just feel free to bring those arms in like that. You guys are giving me 20 seconds here, 20 seconds on the hold. These last 10, let's see if we can't bring those legs up a little bit more, those arms up a little bit higher. 5, 4, 3, 2, break right there, you guys. Last one. Again, we did a nice little low back as well as some focus on the flexion. Now let's focus on some stabilization. Let's get that plank in. Going in 3, 2, and up right there, you guys. Straight arms or straight line between that shoulders, that hips, and those ankles, with maybe those hips being a little bit higher. That's okay. Squeezing in towards the spine, all around the spine. Trying to pull ourselves in. $20 seconds remaining here, guys. 20 seconds. 10 to go. Let's check that positioning for me. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead. Break right there, guys. Grab your water. Take a sip. We're just going to be in this Spider-Man stretch here to get us started. And right there, guys, feel free switching on over. Take it on down to the mat. Spreading those legs across. Give me a stretch right down to the middle. Off to that left side. Off to the right. Right there, go ahead. Give me one leg out in front, pulling in that knee for that glute stretch. Or for those of us who like to get that rotation in there, perfectly acceptable as well to get some spinal twists too. And switching over, same thing, other side. Right there, I'm going to have a stand on up. You're going to give me arm up. Give me that nice tricep stretch. Pulling that elbow back behind the head. And with that arm up, start giving me a lean off to this side so we can focus on that lat a little bit as well. Switching over, same thing, starting with that other side. And give me that lean on over to focus on that lat. Go ahead, rest right there, guys. Give me that nice chest stretch here, up against the wall. If we don't have a wall at home, we can pull those hands up and back behind our back, maybe get a little bit of a stretch up here. Switch for me right there, guys. And I'll have you guys come back to center here. We'll have our 4-way neck stretch. We can have our standing up or sitting down. We're going to have that chin tuck into that chest to stretch the back of our neck. Feel free to just let those arms hang loose, shoulders drop down as well. And raising on up right there, tilting it back, chin to the sky, stretching the front of our neck. Back to center, one ear, same side shoulder, sides of our neck. And raising it up, same thing, other side.